You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Being Human After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Being Human After Show.
When everything is turned to black, you don't know where to go. You need something to justify yourself.
Oh yeah. Thing is for doing, and here we are doing another amazing AFTERBUZZ TV after show for your favorite show, Being Human, and we're on season 3, episode 13.
Oh no!
Ruh Roh? Which is apparently what Scooby-Doo makes as his sound.
I didn't know that either, but we've been informed.
I knew it, but I just got reminded of it. Because just seeing it
know.
on the episode title, it's so out of, I mean, like, it's out of context.
It is, yes.
It's like, what? What the heck is Ruh Roh? I was thinking it was some incantation or something that Donna says.
Right, yeah.
But then I look it up, and the first thing that pops up on YouTube is Scooby-Doo. So I'm like, oh yeah, he does say that every time. And I'm so glad we didn't play the Scooby-Doo theme song, Marissa. Thank you. But we have I'm your host, Sean O, by the way. And I'm joined here by my lovely co-host.
And the infamous Katarina Lee.
And we have a bunch of topics for this season finale of Being Human. So we're going to be talking about Kenny runs away, and we predicted that would happen.
I think you did.
Oh, I was, yeah, I was.
You're the brainiac.
But we're a team here. That's why I wanted to say we.
Yes,
and
we did.
We did.
Exactly. I did, actually. I'm just kidding.
Josh stays a wolf. And Sally gets dragged to hell?
Perhaps.
Juicy topics. And
yes,
of course,
juicy.
like we usually have, you know, these are just really broad topics here, and we're going to throw in some other things that
We're going to talk about everything that happened.
Everything that we can think about, because honestly, in this episode, it was filled with questions and very few answers, and even more questions than the previous seasons had. Like the season 1, it got wrapped up very nicely. It's kind of like, okay, where do they go from here? You know, that kind of thing. It was just like everybody almost had like a happy ending in a way in season 1. Season 2, we had quite a bit of questions, right? So Sally, she got taken to limbo, and you know, and we're like, okay, so how's she gonna get out of that? Yes. And then Josh, I think Josh and Nora, everything was okay with. Yeah. Oh no, it wasn't actually. They were fighting Ray at the end of that episode.
Right.
And then and Aidan got buried. So that was like just like 3 things.
Yes.
That were kind of like, hey, what's going on here? But here we have so many questions, so many. It's like to the 10th power. With
they
how many
absolutely
questions.
Made sure that there would be a 4th season.
Thank goodness for that. You know,
they couldn't leave us hanging.
That's right. And some of our fans, they tweeted at us about that, but we'll talk about that later on too. Anyway, Kenny runs away.
Yes.
So again, we predicted this would happen, and Kenny is a monstrosity now.
Yes, he is. It's so sad because he was a good-looking little boy.
He was.
Yeah, he had his whole life ahead of him, a bright future. You know, he was smart, obviously.
He was.
And
he was charismatic too.
Yes.
He talked really well with the ladies. Even though he'd never seen
the lesbian ladies.
Even the lesbian ladies. Even though he'd never seen women really up close in his life.
No.
He conversed with
the nurses.
He conversed with them pretty well.
Yes, he did.
So, much like the professor before him, he turned into a monstrosity,
yes.
and this is the 2nd time we've seen this mutant vampire hybrid, but the first time that we've seen him, or we've seen them like really up close and for such a prolonged period, where obviously because Kenny's like it's like he's a friend of the Being Human cast,
Yes,
or the
yes,
friend of
yeah.
Being Human people in the house, right? So he tells them like what he's feeling and what's
Yeah.
wrong with him. He's like, "What's wrong with me? What did you do?"
He
And
says he feels like he's on fire.
exactly, that's one of the really good points I want to bring up, Kat, is that he said he felt like he was on fire. So like internally, there's something going on in his system.
Yeah.
It's like maybe his metabolism is burning a lot faster, and that's why he needs to feed more. Aidan mentioned something really important too. He said, "Well, you're just a lot hungrier than the normal vampire."
Right. And he also said something about that he's still turning, or that there might be, it's just like a in-between step, whereas Aidan doesn't actually know whether it is or not. But that's a possibility, that maybe that's only sort of an interim step and they turn into something even more different.
That's right. And this is, again, this is the first time we've seen a second one, and then there's a lot more too. Like,
Yes.
we don't know how many more of these mutant vampires. I don't even want to. I don't want to call them mutant vampires. Can we call them hybrids for short? Can we call them
Sure.
mutants for short? Something for short. Okay, so
Hybrids is fine.
hybrids, mutants, whatever. We'll
Okay.
use those
We'll use
synonymous,
those two things, yes,
synonymously. So this is the first time that we saw a pile of them piled up,
Yes.
and Liam brought Nora and Josh to look at the pile that was incubating. He claimed, or he
Yes.
termed it.
Yeah.
And
I guess he followed them there, right? So they sort of made their way there individually to incubate.
you know what? That is a really good question. Why would they be piled up like
Yeah,
that?
why would they all go to the, unless somebody put them there, why would they all go there? But it seems, from the way that he told the story, that he followed them and they were already like that. Or
Actually-
they piled themselves onto each other.
Okay, regarding the pile, I think during the episode, Liam said that those were his werewolf pack members. And they got attacked, like a bunch of them, like their whole group got
Right.
attacked by vampires who wanted to get the inoculation. And then I think they just left them there. But there's so many questions. Like, for example,
So the werewolves can turn.
it seems like that's the case. The werewolves can turn, but then there's some kind of an inconsistency here, because if the werewolves can turn, then we had Kenny bite Nora, very obviously bite her.
Yes.
And though he didn't drain her like all the other ones
Yeah.
probably got drained, she's not turning. It's been a day, right? It was a
Yeah.
day by the end of the episode, and she had not turned yet.
True.
So how do you feel? Like, do you think she might turn?
I think something might happen there. Because it was such a, it was so specifically on the neck, and they so specifically showed that wound there, and
Yeah.
it was such a big deal. I think something's going to happen with that.
Yeah, I think that's one of those loose ends that they're going to leave there too for us to
Yes.
ponder for the
Yes,
next
I
9
think so,
months.
too.
Gosh, 9 more months, man.
The thing that I found interesting in the pile scenario is when, because a couple of them woke up, right, and tried to fight, Josh and Nora, and then Josh put a stake, what was it, Nora put a stake through one of them.
Yeah.
And then Josh suddenly had the clever idea to burn the rest of the pile. But
So-
I don't understand why he wouldn't just go, like, wouldn't that be better? Because then they'd just be gone. Whereas the whole burning thing, it leaves too much.
I feel
Plus, they were locked into this thing. It was dangerous for them too. to be there.
I feel it's less personal to burn him. So
I
it's
guess.
it's not like he's stabbing each
Yeah.
and every body, and it's like stabbing a person. Can you stab a person? Like, and then not just stab but one person. Like, I don't know if any of us would have the gall to stab a person, but it wouldn't be much easier to throw like gasoline on somebody and then like walk away while they're burning.
I don't know, because the thing is with a vampire, when you stab them, they dissolve.
Yeah.
Which makes it a lot less gruesome than if there was the body still there. Like if I stabbed you, for example, then I'd still have the knife in the body. It would be horrible. But if you just fell into a million pieces, it might not be quite so bad.
You know what? I feel like if they get burned, they still collapse to ash as well.
Oh, well, yeah, perhaps.
I don't think there'll be remains there like human remains, because
Right.
if there's with human remains, it won't completely, like most of the time it'll be once everything's consumed, it'll be in like, it won't necessarily be in ash, it'll be in like this pugilistic state where
Right.
it's like all the body and the arms and the legs are all crumpled up towards the torso. That's the way the human bodies usually get, but I'm sure burning a vampire, staking a vampire, and then beheading them, and then even putting them in a house that they're not invited into results in them turning to ash.
Right.
But
Does that work?
which
Because if you're putting a vampire into a house, you're technically inviting them.
No, I mean, like, remember in season 2 where they were all in the house?
Orphans? Yeah.
Yeah, all the orphans were in the house,
Yeah.
and then they disinvited them from the house because it changed ownership. They all ended up turning to ash after they burned. They burned for a little bit. They were like getting
Right.
seared
Yes.
because it was like it's kind of like a
Right.
spell, I guess.
True.
Anyway, so I feel like the mutants have to be able. They has to be something. It can't just bite. You know, with Nora, she seems to be okay so far. It's
Yes.
been 24 hours, and I feel like they have to drain them. They have to get like almost to
Right.
the point where they're dead, and then they turn into the mutant
Right.
hybrid vampires.
Perhaps. Yes.
Perhaps that's it. Anyway, there's so many things that happened this episode. In addition to Kenny, we got Aidan having his own storyline, and he's having a lot of flashbacks during this episode.
He is.
And he fills in, we fill in the gaps a little bit with what happened with his wife and child right after he turns, right? So what ends up happening in the episode? In the
Well, his
flashbacks?
wife, they decide that she's a witch or something, and they do that thing where they put the ropes around her and they've got her in the water and they're sort of dragging her from, and they're asking her, I think, to denounce him or something, to say that he's the devil and that and she refuses, so they let her drown, and
That's
he gets dragged down to see her disappear or whatever, and then he goes crazy, and then his son is at the top of the thing and he tells him to run away.
Isaac, run, Isaac! And he ends up slaughtering some of the town people, not all of them.
Yeah.
But I would imagine after...
Just enough for the rest to walk away.
Yeah, I would imagine
quietly.
after seeing that, he can't leave witnesses, so he probably went... Now, we don't know what happened, but I would say he probably went back to the town and just snapped
Right.
everybody's necks. Probably because he's so distraught over losing his wife.
Yeah.
And I thought it was such an interesting scene where he finally got that nasty reverend. He got to snap his neck. But
Yes.
before he did, though, he approached him, and the reverend thought that he would be safe just because he was like a holy man, right?
Right.
He was like, "Demon, you cannot touch me!" And,
But he could.
And Aidan, I thought he was going to crush his head at first. Did you see?
Yeah, me too. Yeah, because vampires sometimes do that.
Yeah, the way he like grabbed the
Yeah,
reverend's skull,
yeah,
Aidan seemed like he was going to crush
Yeah.
his head like a melon.
Yeah,
but
I thought so too.
that would be too gory for sci-fi. For
Well, but you don't necessarily have to. If I may get off topic, there's a wonderful vampire movie, perhaps the best ever made, called Near Dark from the 80s, directed by Catherine Bigelow, and Bill Paxton is in it, and he, in a bar scene, he walks up to this dude and he crushes his skull and he goes,
wow.
shh, like this.
You know what? I think I know.
And then the dude just kind of dies. And I think, I don't know, maybe there's some blood in his ears or something.
Oh, okay, I got
But you don't see his head actually crumpling up, but you see from the pressure he just dies.
Oh, okay, now I see where you're going with that. I was like, okay, what do we do here?
Why are we talking about this?
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, so you just need to hemorrhage their internal parts of their head and their brain enough
Yes, that
where
kind of thing, yes.
where they end up dying. Yeah, okay. Oh, okay, I got you. So we didn't see Aidan's wife die. She goes into the water, and I assumed that she drowned.
Yes.
I thought that was the end of her.
Yes, yeah.
Obviously, Aidan did too, and that's why he went all nutso.
Yes, he did.
But obviously, at the episode's end, we see her come out of a cab, or what appears to be a woman
Yes.
who looks like
Looks
her.
exactly like her.
Exactly. And it happened to be right when Aidan was passing the cab. So that was very interesting, coincidental.
Passing the
Yeah.
passing the cab.
Yeah,
Yes,
when
yes,
he was
yes,
walking down
absolutely,
the
yes,
street.
Yes, and he was just walking, and then she came out of it.
That's right. And she
exactly.
she walked in the same direction as him,
I
didn't
think
she?
maybe she did, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's there to find him if it is. In fact, her must, There we go with the old love triangle.
That's
again.
right.
Yes.
And now what's going to happen with that? But before we get to that, I want to talk
Yes.
about that too.
Yes.
But what's the deal with his wife being around for, if she is a vampire, she's been around for 3 centuries and she has
And
not
she's not contacted him.
She hasn't gotten into contact with her husband after 3 centuries. The father of her child,
Yes.
her husband,
Yes.
who came to her after he got turned.
Yes.
How did she get turned even?
And we're gonna find out.
So many questions.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But we should actually, since we brought the story up because of Kenny running away,
Yes.
because Aidan had that flashback,
Yeah.
and that caused him to allow Kenny to run.
Yeah. It reminded him. Obviously, he's turned Kenny, and
Yes.
he's his maker, which is very much the bond between a father and a son,
Yes.
as Bishop pointed out in the previous seasons. So pretty much what we learned from I think it was season 2, when Henry came back and Bishop was like an imaginary figure over Aidan's shoulder.
Right.
He told him at the end of the whole ordeal, he said, that's right, you can't, I'm proud of you, you can't do it because the father can never kill the son.
Right.
So even though Kenny's this disgusting monstrosity and he's probably going to end up making more of his mutant kind and they're going to be the antagonist for the next season.
Yeah, but he's not evil. It's not like he talks evil. He's still very much the sweet child in everything, but like his instincts just took over.
Yeah.
And I think that's why also, because Aidan had that flashback and he remembered how his instincts took over, and despite making that vow that he would always be a holy man, that he
would always be a good
man, that he just snapped and he broke those people's necks right after. So I think that gave him the sympathy, as well as him reminding him of his own real blooded son.
That's true. That's a really good point. And then you also brought up we have the possible love triangle next season with Kat, Aidan, and if that's his wife, his wife. What was his wife's name? Susanna, right?
Maybe yes.
That was her name. So how do you think that's gonna play out?
I don't know. That's gonna be a weird one.
Especially because he used Blake to compel Kat to forget all that mishap that happened with finding Sally's body, and now he owes Blake. So, man, what if it's a love square with Blake? Like, what if Blake falls in love with Aidan for some reason and says, "Hey, my favorite
he is hot."
What if she says,
not off the mark?
Yeah, exactly. What if she says, "My favor is you have to spend the night alone with me, and we have to get blood drunk together." And then they end up getting all crazy and blood drunk, and they have some crazy vampire sex.
Yeah, I don't know if that would happen, but I could see her changing her attitude and becoming more to Aidan's liking, potentially, possibly.
Potentially, he does owe her. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about our iTunes account. Fans, go ahead and go onto the iTunes store, and in the search bar type in Being Human for the podcasts, and you will find us there. We're like one of the first few podcasts that come up, and you know what? Give us 5-star rating, talk to a friend, tell them about it. It only takes a minute, write a little comment for us. We always give shout outs to our fans, right, Kat?
We love the comments.
Yes, we do. And we got a comment here, or a review rather, from Poor Will. He gave us
Poor Will.
Poor Will.
Oh.
He gave us 5 stars though.
Oh, good boy.
He was very generous with that. And he said, "I like it. I like Being Human and enjoy listening to this podcast. The hosts do a great job. Best Being Human podcast."
Oh, lovely.
Awesome. We also got a bunch of tweets this past few days. At Rogue9, who is Ryan Whittlison. He's one of our fans that tweets at us a lot. He said, at Katarina's infamy, at Sean Austino, so many questions like, where did Sally go? What's up with Josh? And was that Aidan's wife in the cab? We think it probably was. And where did Sally go? Maybe she went to hell? We're going to talk about that during this podcast. And Josh, we're going to talk about that next. But Josh staying a wolf, that's a really big deal. Additionally, at Rogue9A also tweeted at us, and he said that he found an article on Fanhattan Voice that says it's confirmed for a 4th season. Yes.
Well, I've also seen Sam Witwer and Megan Roth tweet about that it has indeed been picked up. So.
That's right. And they actually, they have been tweeting about it. I saw some tweets, which I'll talk about later in my news and gossip from them. Also at Rogue9, he said, these damn Being Human cliffhangers drive me nuts. And they do. They drive me nuts as well.
That's what they're designed to do.
I think this is the worst out of the 3. Remember, we just said, it was a little bit easier to take the cliffhanger last season, but this one is just so insane. There's so many unanswered questions.
Yes.
And he, at Rogue9 also said, can I just say, when Aidan started killing the townspeople in the flashback, I cheered.
Didn't we all?
Yes, we did. Especially when he killed the Reverend. Yeah. Got that guy who embarrassed him in front of the whole congregation of the church and his wife, who pretty much that Reverend went into Aidan's house and pissed all over him.
Yes.
Which was just terrible.
Tut tut.
Anyway, Josh stays a wolf.
Yeah.
So what do you think about this, Kat?
I don't know. That's a weird one because it obviously has something to do with him being a purebred.
With Liam being a purebred.
Yes. Yeah, Liam being purebred. But at the same time, I mean, Liam turns and turns back. So something weird happened. Maybe it has something to do with the meditations or when, something to do with the visions of where he sees his wolf. Because he brings that up again. Yeah. With Nora.
He brought that up regarding going through the door, and he said he saw he said something like his wolf was still there, but he didn't say the wolf attacked him. He didn't reveal that.
No,
to
he
Nora.
didn't.
Yeah, that was really weird.
But he said something. Yeah, he said something. The wolf is still here or something like that. Didn't he? Like something like that to her.
And at the episode's end, obviously we see Josh standing there. But we don't know if it's really Josh, though.
No.
We're assuming that it isn't.
We are assuming.
And so is Nora. Because it's not like there's ellipses, It's not like we were there and we saw Josh change and then we see him stay a wolf. We don't really know if it's him.
No.
However, let's just assume that it is him.
Yes.
Though. So, despite all this, like him staying in wolf form, it's just so weird because maybe it's something that there was something that Liam said in the beginning of the episode. Right. He said something like, "I'm pure blood. We're different." And he didn't get to finish saying it because Nora and Josh cut him off.
Right.
Because they didn't want to have anything to do with him. But what if there is a special way to change back because you're a pure blood wolf?
Yeah.
Interesting rules we got here.
Yes, it's very interesting.
Yeah,
and
so
something about the way that he got stuck. I mean, he can't be stuck forever, obviously. I mean, something has to happen for him to come out of it.
Yeah, hopefully something does happen. But regarding Liam, he's dead.
He is dead.
Yay! Yeehaw!
I'm not entirely I'm on the fence.
You're on the fence about him being dead? Like you think he may still be alive? Or?
No, I'm on the fence whether I'm happy about it. In two different ways, because on the one hand, yes, he was evil and he was trying to, kill their friends and stuff, but at the same time, when he had that talk with them, at the vampire hybrid changing compound, there was humanity in him, and there was a certain, caring side of him, even though it was perhaps a little misguided, but there was something in him where I thought, oh, maybe he's not just completely, so I can't really go, yay, he's dead. It's a little bit ambiguous for me.
Okay, so
and I like his character.
Ambiguous for you. I love that word, by the way.
Thank you.
And for me, I feel like he's just a selfish guy. I feel like he's a sociopath. He's always just manipulating the people around him so that he can get whatever he wants. And that's what he was trying to do with them. He was constantly giving them stuff like, hey, come with me. Like, he's trying to brainwash them. He's like Manson. That's what I'm thinking about. The American serial killer. Right? So he's trying to brainwash Nora and Josh to be a part of his pack and do crap for him.
Yeah.
And obviously when they turned him down, he's like, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna show you what I really think of now.
Right. Yeah.
And he locked him in there with all the changing mutant hybrids.
Yes.
So and then by later on he ends up going to the house and because he found out that Aidan had a son now.
Yes.
And he shoots Aidan in the head.
He does.
With a gun.
Yeah, in the middle of a sentence.
That was pretty unexpected.
Yeah, it was.
I didn't think that he would be using a gun.
No.
Being that he's a strong werewolf and all, purebred.
Yeah.
But he ended up doing it to get an edge on Aidan, and he was kicking his butt. He was doing that for a while, and then we end up having Aidan is impaled pretty much in the gut.
Yeah.
With a shovel or something, like this broken off piece of a shovel.
Yeah, was it the shovel or was it like a metal thing?
I think it was a shovel.
It was a shovel.
It was a shovel? Okay, good. Thank you from our audience here.
Yeah.
So it was a shovel, and then he ends up. Everybody's in there fighting with Liam. Aidan ends up being the one who ends up killing him, and he impales him. And obviously he has to be dead because he changed to a wolf there into his wolf form.
But in a way, it was a little bit of a teamwork, sort of. It was quite a nice little joining between the three of them, because he was fighting with Josh, and then Sally came between them and did like the rah, and that kind of caused him to sort of let go a little bit, and then Aidan pulled him. So it was sort of like a nice little thing between the three of them where they sort of almost killed him together.
Yeah, that's true. And actually, that's an excellent segue into Sally and her powers. Okay, so obviously we talked last time how, so we don't know where she got dragged to. You know, she got dragged to hell, did she get dragged to another dimension, a wormhole, what? Okay, but she got taken down by Donna, and there has to be some kind of special relationship that they share now.
Yes.
Because Sally's got fire power.
Yeah, she does.
And she probably did that with the candles, even though she said that Donna may have done it.
Right.
And she did it again with the shovel.
Yes, she did.
She set it on fire when Liam was hitting Aidan and stuff. So I feel like there's something special going on with her because of her being absorbed by Donna, and then being able to break out somehow because of, the whole blood magic thing, right?
Yeah, and it looked like when she did it, she didn't realize that she was going to do it, the fire. She didn't realize that she could do it, but it was just her emotions were so strong, and she just wanted to do something to help. So she just sort of directed her energy, and then they took form in flames sort of thing, and she almost seemed surprised that she could do that. But that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and other than that, the only funny thing in this about Sally during this whole episode was her body was still up in her bed.
Oh yeah.
For what, a day?
Yeah, and then she like lay down next to it. That was a nice little scene. She started talking to it.
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
And then Kat found it and freaked out.
Yeah, and then Kat freaked out, and we had that whole mess, and Sally ends up like closing the doors and stuff to freak her out even more. Sally, control yourself. Come on. Yeah. But I don't think there was anything else in the episode.
Well, they buried Sally's body at the end.
They did.
Not at the end, but towards the end.
They did. Yeah.
So she said goodbye to her body.
For the second time in her life.
Yeah. But let's talk about the segue a little more between when Donna came to the house.
Yeah.
And throwing her down the stairs.
So that was an important thing too. I totally forgot about that until you mentioned it, Kat. But she ended up saying something to the effect of, do you know what happens when a dead spot is destroyed? So wherever the ghost dies, if that spot is destroyed, something happens to them. Do they get like dragged to hell? Do they get what happens? What do you think happens?
I don't know, because I don't know what she was referring to exactly about it being destroyed.
Yeah, but
because throwing her back down the stairs wouldn't destroy the death spot.
No, it wouldn't, because she's a ghost.
Yes. So I mean, was she talking about something that had been destroyed because they made it nice again? Did they?
No, I don't think so.
Change the cracked tiles or something like that?
I think she did. I think Donna did some kind of spell where it made it so that it was changed or something like that. But you know what? I want to say there's an inconsistency there in the writing. Because Sally didn't die there. She did 2 times ago, right? She didn't die there the previous time. The previous time she died upstairs in the bed.
Yes.
As in the zombie form, right? So does her being a zombie, because it's like undead, is that nullified? Is that not count? I think
it's nullified.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's not her real death.
Yeah. I guess I just answered my own question.
She borrowed her body back for a minute.
Yeah. For a few months. To end up living for just a bit.
And it's much more dramatic to push her down the stairs.
It was, but was there anything else important in the conversation with Donna? I felt like Donna wasn't really there. I don't feel like she was in, I guess, physical human form.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Right. No.
How did you?
She was like a ghost, kind of.
Yeah.
I felt like yes, I totally agree.
Yeah, and Sally tried to disperse her with one of the iron pokers, right? And what ended up happening then? Did she just like brush it off?
I think so.
Yeah, I think it like went through her and then nothing happened. Right. But that.
Yeah, you can't disperse a Donna.
No, you can't. Impossible. You can't disperse a witch's ghost or ghost's witch. Yes. Wait. The other way around, a witch's ghost.
Yeah, and then the other thing was because she pushed her down the stairs, and then Sally landed, and then she looked up and Donna was gone, and then Sally was trying to, and the thing was breaking, whatever, but in the end Donna came out behind her, out of the hole.
And pulled her down.
So
I feel like it's probably another dimensional thing. And to be honest, I'm not digging it. No, I really it's just so perplexing, and maybe that's what they're trying to do. Maybe that's what the writers are trying to do here, is they want us to be scratching our heads for the next 9 months.
Yeah, no, that's true. But I agree if they go into a different dimension, because I like them together.
You like
I don't like all of them, like the housemates. I like them together. I don't want Sally to go off again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I like the interpersonal relationships between the three of them. You know, when Sally and Nora and Josh were off on the honeymoon, I was like, they can't leave.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, they can't just go away. You know, when Sally was in limbo, I didn't like that, because I like that relationship she had with, the relationship with Ada, when she tried to touch his hand and went through, and he didn't even notice. He didn't even look.
He kind of did, I felt.
He probably felt it in his heart.
Maybe. But I remember that that was in this episode, right?
Yeah, she was sitting on the kitchen and she had her feet in a sink for some reason.
Oh, you know what? During that scene in this episode, you just reminded me, that was a really touching scene too, because Aidan was in such dire straits and he was really concerned about Kenny and about everything else, and he didn't know what to do. Yeah. In this case, usually Aidan is the one who figures stuff out, and if he can't figure it out, no one can. Yeah. But Sally, I was about to say Megan, but Sally ended up giving him advice because of her experience, being a ghost and being a zombie, and it was really, and he took it to heart a little bit too, right? So that was a really cool scene. It was like a little role reversal there. Yeah, true. That's very true. Also, just because I meant to bring it up in weeks before and I never remembered, did you notice how Sally's attitude has kind of changed? She's much more sassy than she was at the very beginning. No. Maybe not at the beginning of the season, but like season 1, season 2, she's much more sort of playful and sassy. I noticed that, I think, the first time when she brought Josh and Aidan breakfast, and she was like attaboy and all that, and she was doing all that, and then she was talking about Aidan and Kat, and she was giving it all that, her sassy talk. So she's more sassy mouthed now. I think so, than she was at the very beginning. So before she was playful but respectful? I don't say it's disrespectful. Yeah. Oh, okay. I just think she's just evolved a little bit. Her character. I guess. It doesn't mean anything specifically, I don't think. I think just a nice touch. I think she's less selfish now. Right. That's for sure. Especially because she didn't end up eating people or animals to stay alive, and she let her body die willingly, pretty much. But anything else, Kat? Final thoughts for this season? If you were to compare this season to previous ones, would you say, how would you rate this one? The best, second, the worst? Second or third. Second or third? Yeah. As a whole, yes. I would say the first two were better than this one, but just judging by the finale though. But this season overall was really good. But I think no. I think as a whole, the seasons, I don't know, maybe it's because I love it when Aidan has like a proper meaty love story. Yeah. Like, I thought his love story with Rebecca and his love story with Soren was, so strong that it sort of pulled it out of the park for me, versus him and Kat. It's a little like, Yeah, really good point. Yeah, my final thoughts, I feel like we had a lot of antagonists this time from different angles hitting them. We had Liam, we had Blake, we had Donna. It's getting more out of, it was more simplified at the beginning. It's getting more complex because obviously they have to find new things to do, like the hybrids and as you say, Donna. And I feel like maybe they should have stuck to one solid antagonist as opposed to having so many this time. Maybe that made it a little bit weaker of a story. Perhaps. Anyway, let's go ahead and move into our news and gossip.
AFTERBUZZ TV News.
So I was looking at stuff up there in the Twitter sphere, and I found a bunch of interesting tweets from Sammy Huntington. Yeah. You can find him at Sammy Huntington. This one right here, as you can see, Kat, which is... Oh, yeah. Did you see this one? Yes, I did, yes. This is actually really funny. At Sammy Huntington on Twitter, he tweeted, "All right, guys, who wins? At Sam Witwer may have an opinion here." And he put up a twit pic of, it looks like an Obi-Wan Kenobi Star Wars action figure fighting a Star Killer action figure. And, of course, that is Sam Witwer's character in the game of Force Unleashed. So it was just so funny. And Sam Witwer commented on this, or rather he replied to it, and he said the answer is yes. Secondly, we have Sammy Huntington again. He tweeted an interesting pic. He it's not very interesting, but his comment on it, or his caption of it, is interesting. He tweeted a picture of Vlasic kosher dill holes, and he said, "Hey Vlasic, cool it. No one likes being called a dill hole, not even pickles."
Oh.
And, yeah, that was pretty funny. And exclusive, Megan Rath actually retweeted this, and it was again regarding Being Human renewed for season 4, and it was she retweeted this from this writer Michael Osiello, and I forget what he's a writer with, but it's pretty much exclusive SyFy renews Being Human for season 4, and thank goodness it is, because I'm really happy to see that. And I'm sure you are too, right, Kat?
I am, absolutely. I can't wait.
Kristen Hager, at Kristen_Hager, tweets, in NYC, at SyFy Upfront, hashtag Being Human, at Sammy Huntington, at Sam Witwer, and at Megan Rath. So there's a picture of them in this tweet all together in New York at this event. And I think this is where they announced that it would be renewed for season 4. And there was so much stuff on Twitter about this, and one in particular I didn't get to put that into my news and gossip today, but I'll talk about it really fast. If you guys want to look at I think it's either at Megan Rath or at SyFy, there's actually a really funny little, what do you call those things, GIFs, Marissa? Yeah, those are like those animation things, right?
Yeah, GIFs.
Okay, so there's a funny GIF of Megan Rath at this particular party, and she's imitating sounds from Mario Kart characters. So she's making like bingo, whatever, I don't know, some kind of sounds like that.
Funny.
And it's just really funny to see her doing that. Here's another tweet from Kristen_Hager, and this is her makeup and special effects done on her neck regarding the bite that she was given by Kenny this episode. So it looks a lot worse in this than it did on screen.
It does, yeah. You can't really, it's at an angle on the screen where you can't really see it.
Yeah, so just on the episode, they showed like a really quick flash of it.
Right.
And they didn't show it like this. Oh my goodness, it looks like he really was having
mauled her.
Yeah, he mauled her. He was like having a buffet on her neck. But she said, "I think I have a hickey." Hashtag Being Human.
Very nice.
And that's from Kristen_Hager on her Twitter account. And I think that's about it for news and gossip. Let's go into predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So I have quite a few. I think I got like 5.
Oh.
What do you got?
Well, I got, for example, that, yes, that was his wife.
So you predict it is going to be his wife?
I predicted it is going to be his wife.
It's his wife's sister, like great-granddaughter.
And there's going to be trouble. But you know what? I don't think that she can win out against Kat. Or I don't really feel like the chemistry between her and Aidan is as strong as with any of his other female love interests.
We'll see.
Including Celine also.
Celine, that's right. He did tattoo himself.
She was lovely.
Yes, she was. She was really cute.
Yes.
And he loved her when she got old too.
Yes.
That was really cool.
Well, she was beautiful.
She was. Yes. I feel like Josh will attack Nora initially as a wolf.
Oh.
But I feel like he's going to become tame maybe, like once he realizes that, hey, it's my spouse.
Yeah. I think that maybe, he'll stay a wolf maybe for a little bit. You know, just to keep us wondering whether but I mean, they can't do it without Sam Huntington, so.
No, they can't. They have to have him change back. He better change back.
Yes.
We will find that Sally has been taken to another dimension, compliments of Donna. I feel like Aidan will find his wife and question that it's actually her.
Oh.
He's probably going to ask her stuff like, hey, what's the name of our son?
Yeah.
Because only she would know that, right?
Yeah.
Kenny, he will still be bloodthirsty, and he's going to be out there. And we predicted this last time.
Yes.
I think, okay, so to go a step further, and I did say this prediction last time, but I think he is going to be turning other people because he can't control himself.
Yeah, no, I think that too. And I think that maybe that the state that he's in is just a in-between stage, and he's going to turn physically into something else.
Now,
still.
Yes, good point, Kat. But I feel like, okay, if these hybrids get out of control, do you think that they could turn enough people to overrun Boston and make it maybe an epidemic where people are actually seeing these monsters out in daylight now?
That's possible.
I think it could get to that
Take over
point.
the town.
I feel like these hybrid mutants could be a big time antagonist for next season.
The thing is, vampires are so easy to kill. You know, the stake thing is so, I mean, it's so simple, and they instantly turn to dust. It's not like, you know, if you stab somebody, they can still fight.
What
you know, but vampires are just...
Yeah, they just crumble.
Just gone.
Yeah. What if, though, they do develop more adaptations, like you're saying? Because I didn't think about this. I thought that this was the final stage in their development. So what if this mutant hybrid stage, they develop further, and there's something that happens to them...
Right. And they can't be staked.
Or they can't be staked anymore. Maybe their skin's like really, really tough, and maybe they need like silver stakes now instead, or something like that.
Yeah, because they're half werewolves or whatever.
That's right, because they're half werewolves. I feel like we are actually gonna find that Donna is still alive, and that she was using like an astral form to go out there and attack Sally and drag her down into this wormhole of some kind.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think
that's possible, because maybe when they went through the door, maybe that was an astral form too.
Yeah, and maybe that's what affected Sam too. Sam, that's what affected Josh too.
Yeah.
Maybe him going through the door made that thing happen with his wolf, like in him, and making it stay. Stay in his wolf form.
Very possible.
But anyway, that about does it for our AfterBuzz TV show for Being Human.
Oh my God, it's over.
It's over. This season is over. Can you believe we went 13 weeks together, Kat?
No, I can't.
It was
incredible, but it was fun.
It was very fun. And so I wanted to thank you guys, our fans, so much for tweeting at us, commenting, reviewing, doing all that stuff. And if you want to, you can follow me for the next 9 months to entertain you on Twitter. I'm at Sean Austin O, and same thing on Instagram, at Sean Austin O.
I'm at Katarina's Infamy on Twitter. I don't have Instagram.
Anyway, guys, that about does it. We'll be buzzing with you next time around.
Goodbye.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.